square footage perspective, but a smaller house, but it had a garage. So if you count the garage, I guess it's probably similar. But well, I was getting there. So the biggest thing is that it had a yard.
One step at a time, with you by my side. One step at a time, I surrender my life. One step at a time, everything becomes clear. You reveal to me one step at a time.
Biggest thing is that it had a yard. So I have a picture of the yard. You probably have the same picture. So I've got this picture of how nice and big the yard was. The yard was able to be big. It was only a third of an acre or a quarter of an acre. But the house was so tiny that it had a big fenced-in backyard. The fence was falling apart, but hey, it was still a fenced-in backyard. So I've got that picture, and then I've got a picture of all of your cloth diapers that you were doing. That were all strung out on a clothesline in between the falling down privacy fence.
I was sunning them out because it helps with getting them clean.
So did I mention that we were poor? So yes, this poor woman was doing cloth diapers to save money, but she was also doing it for environmental reasons and for the health of the baby.
Same time I was making cloth diapers too.
Okay. Yeah, so those are the homemade ones. Yeah. And then I remember some of the designer ones. It wasn't Einstein, but the math one. What was the math?
Bum Genius.
Bum Genius. Yes.
Isn't designer? It's like a name brand, but I don't say designer. It's like a purse. It's a purse you put on your butt.
So the other thing, and those are the only two pictures I have.
I have some. How do I know?
Okay.
Where'd they go?
But the other thing I remember is putting fruit trees in 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, I had a picture of that.
I remember specifically we had a papaya and we had some citrus trees.
Yeah, I had a picture. I'm trying to find it too.
And didn't we start jackfruits too?
We started the jackfruits. We started.
We tried. I remember we had a whole bunch of well, we had bananas, but we had a whole bunch of pots that I had filled with jackfruit seeds, and we were so new at it, so we didn't know, what things were supposed to look like. So for a while there, I assumed, oh wow, the jackfruits are sprouted, but it was actually tomatoes from our compost bin. Which, by the way, our compost bin, I mentioned that in the post, but our compost bin, it was one of those corner kitchen cabinets that somebody was throwing away on the side of the road. And so we turned it sideways. So it had like the little lip on the end and a little lip on the front. And we were composting in our rental house in somebody's thrown away kitchen cabinet. But it worked well, and we did have some chickens, just don't tell the landlord. And the chickens would love to get in there and they would scratch it, and it had the lip, so it kind of kept it in there. So
this is one of the photos. For some reason it didn't go on my tablet, but
oh yeah,
we had dragon fruits. We had some basil. I think it was like lychee, some like orange or lemon.
We had a lychee, yeah.
And then we had this little mini greenhouse with
and that's where I was putting all my little jackfruits, and I thought they were jackfruit sprouts, but they're actually tomatoes.
And we had like some onions.
And then that's right.
Onions, chives.
Don't we have a picture? Because we took one of those bigger pots and we put a tomato cage in it, and we grew snap peas in it.
Yeah,
And don't we have a picture of like Isaiah or Mercy like standing in it, like eating it?
I don't think I have that picture on here.
We gotta find that.
And then the other thing we started was the chicken. So that was our chicken coop we made.
Oh yeah, and yep. So on that picture. So I forgot about that. So you guys are you're gonna laugh when you see the picture, but I built the bottom part, right? And then I asked my dad to come help me with the roof. And my dad has been in construction since he was 18 and area superintendent, owned his own contractor business for a while. And so he came over to build me a roof, and he built me like a professional roof on top of my little stick figure frame. And I remember when we finally moved out of there, that we actually had to take a panel of the fence apart to get that out of the...
I don't remember that.
So the roof was a beast.
The big chicks when they were first in there.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was their trial.
I forgot about all of that. See, it's so good for us to go back and to recollect on things.
And the cactus. And the cactus. Don't want to remember that.
So people were throwing out cactus left and right, and this is in Florida for those of you guys who didn't know, but this was our start in Florida. And where did we get the cactus? Was it the side of the road?
Somebody was throwing them away, and I was like, oh, you can actually eat those.
Yeah, you can eat the pads and you can eat the fruits.
We made salsa with them.
We did.
And then we tried to plant them, and we had to move, and yeah, we just kind of decided to get rid of them.
Yeah, and we had, we got it out of the rental yard, but it ended up in the yard on the other side of the fence that was wooded. It wasn't someone else's.
They had gotten so big and like spiky that it was hard to like move.
We were like, we're not putting that in the moving truck. Oh man, yeah. And I bet you that lot still has a gigantic cactus.
If it's still there, I think it's all been, houses have been put there now.
Okay. All right, well, hopefully no one got harmed in the clearing of that land. All right, so this is married 2 to 3 years at this point.
That was when I was pregnant with Gideon, and he was our third.
So at this point, it's in our blood. So obviously we were restricted in a rental house with a rental yard. With what we could grow, and we tried to put the yard back the way that we found it, but we ended up not even getting our deposits back on that one, and we didn't really fight it, but we did a good job of putting everything back, I thought, but
we got a partial deposit.
Yeah, we got part of it back.
I mean, we didn't have a lot of time to like get it cleaned up and stuff before.
Yeah, we kind of rushed all of these things, but they all also kind of worked out, which is kind of the story of our life, that the pieces just kind of fell in place. All right, so then we had a lot of fun when, I'm not looking. We had a lot of fun when we moved to our property out in a very undeveloped spot in Brevard County, Florida. There was only one house next to us that was a rental, and then all the rest of it was wooded. It was still only a third of an acre, but it was ours. It was our third of an acre. And so that's where we kind of went crazy, and we were there for 5 years.